All right, so I watched that Paul Italia, Tom Stubblebine, Lachlan Adair, Mike Aiello, and Grip and Rip podcast yesterday, and I don't understand. These guys are ripping on Tom for nonsensical reasons. Doesn't make any sense, their arguments. Okay, so Tom Stubblebine was supposed to have a match with Freddy Sanchez. Freddy Sanchez is a puller out of West Texas, El Paso. I watched some of Freddy's videos, and he has some pins on some people, but they didn't look spectacular. They didn't look like anything, crazy. Obviously, I never pulled the people that he did, but, they say that Freddy's been pulling for 10 plus years. Didn't look like it to me. He looked like he was about the 3-year mark. He looked like he's at the stage where he's either going to start taking off or just not. He's just going to fall flat. I was not very impressed with the videos that I watched. Now, I watched him pull some man named Miguel, and then I watched his 2022 wrap-up video that he had on his channel. So, yeah, wasn't impressed. Freddy challenged Tom to a match. Tom came back, you could say, with a rebuttal, saying, all right, we'll do this match, but I want $1,500. $1,500 goes to the winner. Apparently, that sent everybody spiraling down this weird rabbit hole of, people that aren't elite asking for money is stupid, and like, what? If you challenge somebody and they come back and say, yeah, I'll do it, but I want to get paid, what the fuck is wrong with that? And then when you find out that Freddy Sanchez's homie, Greg Brown, puts up $500, it makes even more sense to say, oh, well, let's up the ante to $1,500. But for some reason, Freddy and his boys say, well, why would we put up $1,500? And that is the same question that everybody else is saying. They're asking, why do you think you get $1,500? Well, obviously they already wanted to put up $500, so obviously, Greg Brown thinks that his boy can smash Tom for $500. Tom's like, well, let's put it up to $1,500. I don't see any problem with that, and I don't understand why Paul and Lachlan are saying that only elites should get that kind of money, or you should only get that kind of money if you have expenses. What? No. I don't understand why you have to have a reason to ask for money. That it's just silly. It just makes no sense to me. Like, where are these guys coming from? I just don't understand it. And then, besides the money, in the podcast, you got Lachlan Adair getting all pissed off, whatever. Calm down. And saying that Tom has now been arm wrestling long enough to even warrant having a match with Freddy. And he quoted some study that doctors and scientists did on tendons in the hand and how long it takes for the tendons in your hand to get strong, 1% per year if you're lucky, for gripping strength. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? That's not how it works, man. You're saying that mechanics and concrete workers, construction workers, whatever, since they're repetitively using their hands all day, that they're going to be stronger. Yeah, I was a mechanic for 15 years. My hands are much stronger than most people's, much more dexterous, and have way more endurance than most people's. But most people do not injure their hand tendons when they're arm wrestling. It's their bicep tendons and their elbow tendons are usually what go. And I'll tell you what, mechanics, concrete workers, and construction workers, they're not doing curls all day. They're not at all. So that has nothing to do with arm wrestling. Also, you don't know anything about Tom. You're just assuming that the guy hasn't done anything, doesn't train, doesn't do shit, and that it's not enough to pull against someone who's been pulling for 10 years. If you watched any of Tom's videos, you would see that he's been pulling people that have been pulling for 10, 20 years for quite a while now. Tom's 3 years in, and he has the genetics to do it. So, I don't understand where Lachlan's even coming from. I think he was just upset making these weird arguments that it just didn't make any sense. None of it made any sense. Paul was saying that he wouldn't put up any of the money as a promoter because there's nothing in it. He's a nobody, blah, 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 blah. If Tom's a nobody and Freddy's a somebody, but Freddy challenged Tom to a match, obviously that makes Tom someone. I mean, what the fuck? And then it gets compounded by Freddy's buddy putting up 500. What are we talking about here, people? You guys are contradicting yourself all over the place. And I'm sick of hearing it. I'm not going to stay quiet on it anymore. Anytime I see any of this foolery and these nonsensical arguments, I'm going to make a video. We got novices and amateurs requesting super matches with people, when they're not even a year in. You know how you get better at a sport when you first start? Volume. Just like when you're training weightlifting or anything, running. To be a good sprinter, you don't just sprint. You do a lot of long distance running and vice versa. You need to pull tournaments, not super matches. Okay? Super matches are great for, I guess, rankings, right? You want to take the number one spot? Well, you're going to have to get a super match. But also, I'm pretty sure, at least in Texas, you have to pay to challenge somebody for those top spots. Yeah, so anyway. Shit doesn't make any sense. And that's all I got for now. Peace.